I could have your job gone by lunch. Those words hang in the air of Providence Municipal Court. Every person in the room freezes. Did he really just say that? To Judge Frank Caprio? The young man standing before the bench doesn't look worried. He looks bored. His name is Preston Whitmore III. He's 23 years old. His father is State Senator Richard Whitmore, and Preston thinks that makes him untouchable. He's wearing a navy blue Tom Ford suit. It costs $8,000. His shoes are Ferragamo loafers. They shine under the courtroom lights. A Patek Philippe watch wraps around his wrist. That watch costs more than most people's cars. His blonde hair is perfectly styled. Gel holds every strand in place. His jaw is set. His blue eyes look cold. He stands with his hands in his pockets, like he's waiting in line at Starbucks, not standing in court. If you believe justice should be equal for everyone, you'll want to see what happens next. Judge Frank Caprio sits at the bench. He's 78 years old. His hair is white. His eyes are kind but sharp. He's been a judge for decades. He's seen everything. But today, something different is about to happen. Today, privilege will meet consequences head-on. The bailiff stands near Preston. His hand rests near his belt. He's ready. He has a feeling he might need to be. The gallery is packed. Every seat is full. People stand along the back wall. They heard about this case. Word spread fast. The son of a senator. Charged with something serious. Everyone wants to see what happens. Judge Caprio looks down at the papers in front of him. Case number 2025, TR 94521, he says. His voice is calm. Professional. The State versus Preston Whitmore III. Preston shifts his weight. He pulls out his phone. His thumb moves across the screen. He's checking messages. Mr. Whitmore, Judge Caprio says. Please put your phone away. Preston doesn't look up. I'm handling something important, he says. His voice is smooth, confident. This will just take a second. A woman in the third row gasps. An older man shakes his head. The bailiff takes a step closer. Judge Caprio leans forward. Mr. Whitmore, put the phone away. Now. Something in the judge's voice makes Preston look up. For a second, just a second, doubt flashes across his face. But it's gone fast. He slides the phone into his pocket. Fine, he says. Can we speed this up? I have plans at 2. The courtroom is quiet. You can hear the air conditioning hum. You can hear someone cough in the back. The tension is thick. Let me explain why you're here, Judge Caprio says. He picks up a document. On the night of December 8th, 2024, you were driving down Benefit Street. The posted speed limit is 25 miles per hour. It's a residential area. There's a school. Children live there. Do you know how fast you were going? Preston shrugs. I don't really remember, he says. 73 miles per hour, Judge Caprio says. He lets that number sit. 73 in a 25 zone. People in the gallery murmur. Someone says, "Oh my God," under their breath. But that's not why we're here today, the judge continues. At 9:47 p.m. that night, your vehicle struck a parked car. Inside that car was Mrs. Elena Rodriguez. She was sitting in her vehicle. She had just finished her shift. She works as a nurse at Rhode Island Hospital. She was eating dinner in her car before driving home. Do you remember hitting her car? Preston's jaw tightens. Look, he says. I already talked to my lawyer about this. We're handling it. Answer the question, Judge Caprio says. Do you remember hitting her car? I might have tapped something, Preston says. He waves his hand like he's brushing away a fly. It wasn't a big deal. My car barely had a scratch. A man in the gallery stands up. The bailiff moves toward him. Sit down, please, the bailiff says. The man sits but his face is red. His hands shake. Judge Caprio looks toward the gallery. Mrs. Rodriguez, are you here? A woman stands. She's in her early 40s. Her black hair is pulled back in a ponytail. She wears blue scrubs. Her name tag still hangs around her neck. Her hands hold a folder. Those hands are shaking. Yes, Your Honor, she says. Her voice is quiet, respectful. Please come forward, Judge Caprio says. Elena walks to the front. She moves slowly. She's limping. Her right leg drags slightly. Preston watches her walk. His face shows nothing. No guilt. No concern. Nothing. Mrs. Rodriguez, Judge Caprio says gently. Can you tell the court about that night? Elena takes a breath. I work the evening shift at the hospital, she says. I'm a nurse in the emergency room. That night, I worked from noon until 9 o'clock. 9 hours on my feet. Running. Helping people. Saving lives. Her voice cracks. She clears her throat. I have 2 kids. Maria is 8. Carlos is 5. They were at home with my mother. I hadn't eaten all day, so I stopped at the grocery store. I bought a sandwich. Turkey and cheese. It cost $4. I sat in my car in front of my apartment. I was so tired. I just wanted 5 minutes of quiet before I went inside. Before I helped with homework. Before I did laundry. Just 5 minutes. Tears fill her eyes. I was taking a bite of my sandwich when I heard the engine. It was so loud. Then everything went white. Glass exploded everywhere. My head hit the steering wheel. My leg got crushed between the door and the seat. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. I thought I was dying. Preston looks at his watch. Actually looks at his watch while she's talking. Several people in the gallery see this. A woman covers her mouth. A man's fists clench. Elena continues. When the airbag settled, I looked out my window. I saw taillights. Red taillights driving away. Fast. He didn't stop. He didn't check if I was okay. He just left me there. Bleeding. Alone. In the dark. Did anyone help you? Judge Caprio asks. My neighbor heard the crash, Elena says. Mr. Chun. He's 74 years old. He came running out. He called 911. He held my hand while we waited for the ambulance. I work in an emergency room. I help people every single day. That night, I was the emergency. And the person who hurt me didn't care enough to stop. Judge Caprio nods. Thank you, Mrs. Rodriguez. Please sit down. Elena limps back to her seat. Every step looks painful. The courtroom watches her. Everyone except Preston. He's looking at the ceiling. Bored. Mr. Whitmore, Judge Caprio says. Do you have anything to say to Mrs. Rodriguez? Preston looks at the judge. Not at Elena. At the judge. My insurance will cover her car, he says. So I don't see what the problem is. Things happen. Move on. The courtroom erupts. Voices rise. Someone shouts. The bailiff raises his hand. Order, he says loudly. Order in the court. It takes a minute for everyone to quiet down. But the anger still simmers. You can feel it. It's like heat rising from pavement. Judge Caprio's face is stone. Things happen, he repeats. Move on? You drove nearly 50 miles over the speed limit. You struck another vehicle. You injured another human being. You fled the scene. And your response is move on. Preston sighs. Like the judge is being unreasonable. Look, he says, I get that you have to do your job. But can we be realistic here? My father is Senator Richard Whitmore. He knows the governor. He knows the attorney general. He knows everyone who matters in this state. We can make this whole thing disappear. Everyone wins. Silence. Complete silence. Judge Caprio leans back in his chair. He takes off his glasses. He cleans them with a cloth. He takes his time. Everyone waits. The silence stretches out. It feels like minutes, but it's only seconds. Let me make sure I understand, Judge Caprio finally says. He puts his glasses back on. You think your father's position means you don't have to follow the law? I think it means we can work something out, Preston says. He actually smiles. I mean, no offense, but what's the point of having connections if you don't use them? That's just smart business. Judge Caprio writes something down. His pen moves across the paper. Officer Martinez, he says. Please approach. A police officer stands from the front row. He's in full uniform. His badge says Martinez. He walks to the witness stand. He's sworn in. Officer Martinez, Judge Caprio says. You were the responding officer that night. Yes, Your Honor, Officer Martinez says. I arrived at the scene at 10:03 p.m. Mrs. Rodriguez was still in her vehicle. Paramedics were treating her. The entire driver's side of her car was destroyed. The door was caved in. The window was shattered. There was glass everywhere. Blood on the steering wheel. On the seat. On the dashboard. He pulls out a tablet. I have photos here. Would you like to see them? Please show the court, Judge Caprio says. Officer Martinez holds up the tablet. Photo after photo appears on the courtroom screen. Elena's car is demolished. The door is crushed like a soda can. Blood stains the gray interior. The steering wheel is bent. More gasps from the gallery. Preston glances at the screen. He looks away quickly. I ran the license plate from debris left at the scene Officer Martinez continues. It came back registered to Richard Whitmore, the senator. I called the number on file. A young man answered. He said his name was Preston. I asked if he'd been in an accident. He said no. Then he laughed. Then he hung up. He hung up on you? Judge Caprio asks. Yes, sir. I called back. It went to voicemail. I left a message explaining that leaving the scene of an injury accident is a serious crime. I asked him to call me back. He never did. Officer Martinez looks at Preston. 3 days later, I went to the Whitmore residence. Big house on the east side. Huge iron gates. Security cameras everywhere. Mr. Whitmore here answered the door. I showed him photos of the damage. I asked if he was driving that night. He said, and I quote, "You should talk to my dad's lawyer." Then he closed the door in my face. Preston rolls his eyes. I was advised not to talk to police, he says. That's my right. It is your right, Judge Caprio agrees. But you didn't remain silent. You denied being in an accident. You hung up on an officer. You refused to cooperate with an investigation into a hit and run that left a woman injured. Those are choices. Choices have consequences. Whatever, Preston mutters. Judge Caprio's eyebrows rise. Whatever. Is that your response? Preston throws his hands up. What do you want me to say? I'm sorry? Fine. I'm sorry. Can I go now? The prosecutor stands. She's a woman in her 30s. Professional. Sharp. Your Honor, she says. The state has additional evidence. Proceed, Judge Caprio says. The prosecutor approaches the bench with a folder. In the 3 days between the accident and Officer Martinez's visit, Mr. Whitmore made several phone calls. We have the phone records here. At 10:15 p.m. on the night of the accident, 15 minutes after Officer Martinez called him, Mr. Whitmore called his father. That call lasted 8 minutes. She pulls out a document. At 11:30 p.m. that same night, this court received a phone call from Senator Whitmore's office. The senator's chief of staff wanted to know who was assigned to case number 2025, TR 94521. They said it was a courtesy call. Nothing unusual. Just checking. Judge Caprio's face hardens. Who took that call? The night clerk, Your Honor. Sandra Mills. She logged it. The chief of staff mentioned that Senator Whitmore and the court system have a great relationship. That the senator has always supported judicial funding. Sandra felt uncomfortable. She reported it to her supervisor. More murmurs ripple through the gallery. That's not all, the prosecutor continues. The next morning, the police chief received the call. From Senator Whitmore himself. The senator asked about the accident. Asked if it was being handled appropriately. Said he wanted to make sure his son's rights were being protected. The chief told him it was an active investigation and he couldn't discuss it. Senator Whitmore said, and I quote from the chief's notes, "I hope this doesn't turn into something that hurts anyone's career." Preston's lawyer finally speaks up. He's a man in an expensive suit. Gray hair. Tired eyes. Your Honor, my client's father was simply concerned about his son. There's nothing illegal about that. Nothing illegal, Judge Caprio repeats. He looks at Preston. Mr. Whitmore, did you ask your father to make those calls? I told him what happened, Preston says defensively. He's my dad. That's what dads do. They help. Help how? Judge Caprio asks. By trying to intimidate law enforcement? By calling the court to fish for information? By implying that careers are at stake? Preston's face turns red. You're twisting everything, he says. His voice rises. My dad was just looking out for me. There's nothing wrong with that. If you had kids, you'd understand. I have children, Judge Caprio says quietly. 4 of them. I have grandchildren. And if any of them hit a person with their car and drove away, I would drive them to the police station myself. I would not make phone calls to make it disappear. I would teach them that actions have consequences. That we are not above the law. That we do not run from what we've done. Preston laughs. Actually laughs. It's a harsh sound. Oh, come on, he says. Everyone uses their connections. Everyone. You're telling me you've never pulled strings? Never made a call? Please. Don't act holier than thou. The judge doesn't react. He just watches Preston. Studying him. Continue with the evidence, he tells the prosecutor. Yes, Your Honor. She pulls out her phone. Mr. Whitmore is active on social media. Very active. He has an Instagram account with 47,000 followers. The morning after the accident, at 8:23 a.m., he posted this. The courtroom screen lights up. It's a photo. Preston is standing next to a silver Porsche. The front bumper is dented. The headlight is cracked. He's giving a thumbs up. The caption reads, "Battle scars from last night. No big deal. Dad's getting me the new model anyway." The gallery explodes. People yell. Someone stands up. The bailiff has to call for order 3 times. It takes a full minute for the noise to die down. Elena Rodriguez is crying. Quiet tears run down her face. She's staring at the photo. At Preston's smile. At the casual way he showed off the damage from destroying her car. Her life. "You posted that?" Judge Caprio asks. His voice is steel. While Mrs. Rodriguez was in the hospital. While doctors were checking her for internal bleeding. While her children cried at home wondering if their mother would be okay. "You posted a photo bragging about it." Preston's smirk fades. "It's just social media," he says. "It doesn't mean anything." "It means everything," Judge Caprio says. "It shows your character, your values, your complete lack of empathy. Did you know Mrs. Rodriguez has 2 children?" "I don't know anything about her," Preston says. "That's obvious. Let me tell you. Maria is 8. Carlos is 5. Their mother works 50 hours a week to support them. Their father died 3 years ago. Heart attack. He was 39 years old. So Elena does it alone. She works. She cooks. She helps with homework. She tucks them into bed. She keeps a roof over their heads." Judge Caprio's voice gets softer but somehow more powerful. "The night you hit her car, those kids were waiting for their mom. Elena called them from the ambulance. Maria answered. Elena had to tell her 8-year-old daughter that she'd been hurt, that she would be late, that she was okay but she was scared. Do you know what Maria said?" Preston doesn't answer. She said, "It's okay, Mommy. I'll take care of Carlos. Just come home." 8 years old, Mr. Whitmore. Taking care of her 5-year-old brother because you decided traffic laws don't apply to you. For the first time, Preston looks uncomfortable. He shifts his weight. He doesn't look at Elena. Mrs. Rodriguez spent 4 hours in the emergency room, Judge Caprio continues. The same emergency room where she works. Her co-workers treated her. Can you imagine? Going to work the next week and seeing the people who bandaged your head? Who x-rayed your leg? Who saw you at your most vulnerable? "I didn't mean to hurt anyone," Preston says. His voice is quieter now. "But you did. And then you ran. And then you lied. And then you asked your father to fix it. And then you bragged about it online. These aren't mistakes. These are choices. A pattern of behavior." Preston's lawyer stands. "Your Honor, my client is willing to plead guilty to a reduced charge. We'd like to." "Sit down," Judge Caprio says. Not loud. Not angry. Just firm. The lawyer sits. The prosecutor continues. "We also have text messages." She holds up printed pages. "Between Mr. Whitmore and his friends. The night of the accident. At 10:47 p.m., he texted his friend Brandon. Quote, 'Dude, I hit some lady's car. She was just sitting there. Who does that? Dad says don't worry about it.' End quote. She flips a page. At 11:15 p.m., Brandon replied, 'Bro, did you stop?' Mr. Whitmore responded, 'Hell no. I had a buzz going. Wasn't gonna blow that.' Then he sent a laughing emoji. The courtroom is dead silent. Even the people who were angry before are now just stunned. The words sink in. He had a buzz going. He was drinking. Judge Caprio closes his eyes for a moment. 'You were drinking,' he says. 'You were drinking and driving 73 miles per hour through a residential neighborhood. Then you hit a woman. Then you fled. And you laughed about it.' 'I wasn't drunk,' Preston says quickly. 'I had like 2 beers. 2 beers that you didn't want to get caught with in your system. So you ran.' Preston doesn't respond. What else? Judge Caprio asks the prosecutor. 'One more thing.' She pulls out a final document. 'We obtained Mr. Whitmore's financial records. Subpoenaed by the court. In the week following the accident, he made a purchase at a body shop. $8,400 for repairs to his Porsche. Paid in cash. The body shop owner says Mr. Whitmore came in at night. Asked for the work to be done fast. No paperwork. No insurance claim.' 'That's not illegal,' Preston's lawyer says. 'No,' Judge Caprio agrees. 'But it shows consciousness of guilt. He knew he did something wrong. So he hid the evidence.' Preston's face is fully red now. His hands are fists. 'This is ridiculous,' he says. His voice is loud again. 'You're acting like I killed someone. I bumped a car. That's it. People do it every day. But because my dad is a senator, you're making this into some huge thing. This is political. You're trying to make an example of me. Judge Caprio stares at him. Just stares. The silence stretches. You're right, the judge finally says. I am going to make an example of you. Preston actually smiles. Like he thinks he's won. Like the judge is admitting to bias. But not because of your father, Judge Caprio continues. Because of your complete disregard for human life. Because of your arrogance. Because you think your last name protects you. Because you stood in my courtroom and showed no remorse. No humility. No understanding of what you've done. Preston's smile fades. Mrs. Rodriguez, Judge Caprio says. What injuries did you sustain? Elena stands again. She still limps as she moves forward. 3 broken ribs, she says. A concussion. My right leg fractured in 2 places. Torn ligaments in my knee. I had surgery. Metal plates and screws to hold the bones together. I was in the hospital for 3 days. Physical therapy for 6 weeks. I'm still going. Are you able to work? Judge Caprio asks. Yes, but it's hard. I can't stand for long periods. My leg swells up. It hurts. I take pain medication, but I have to be careful because I need to stay sharp at work. People's lives depend on me. Some nights, I come home and I can barely walk. My kids have to help me. They shouldn't have to do that. They're just babies. What about financial impact? The medical bills were over $40,000. My insurance covered most of it, but I still owe $6,000. I had to use my savings. Money I was saving for Maria's school. Carlos needs braces next year. I don't know how I'll afford it now. I missed 2 weeks of work. No pay. We got behind on rent. My landlord was nice about it, but I'm still catching up. Judge Caprio nods slowly. And emotionally? Elena's voice breaks. I'm scared all the time now. I used to love sitting in my car. It was my quiet time. Now I panic. If I hear a loud engine, I freeze. I have nightmares. I see headlights coming at me. I wake up screaming. My kids hear me. They're scared too. Maria asks if I'm going to die, like her daddy did. How do I answer that? How do I tell an 8-year-old that I'm okay when I don't feel okay? Tears stream down her face. She's not wiping them away anymore. She's just letting them fall. I help people every day. I save lives. I hold hands when people are dying. I tell families their loved ones are going to be okay. Or that they're not. And I do it with kindness. With respect. With dignity. The night that man hit me, I needed help. I needed someone to show me that same kindness. He just drove away. Like I was nothing. Like I didn't matter. Preston is looking at the floor now. His jaw is tight. Do you have anything to say to Mrs. Rodriguez? Judge Caprio asks him directly. Preston looks up. He looks at Elena for the first time. Really looks at her. She stands there in her scrubs. Tears on her face. Limping. Broken. Because of him. Preston starts. He stops. He looks at his lawyer. His lawyer nods slightly. I'm sorry you got hurt, Preston says. That's it. That's all he says. Elena's face crumples. She turns away and walks back to her seat. Every step is painful. Every step is slow. The whole courtroom watches her. Judge Caprio sets down his pen. He removes his glasses again. He looks at Preston for a long moment. Mr. Whitmore, he says. I have been a judge for a very long time. I have seen thousands of cases. I have seen people at their worst. I have seen people at their best. I have seen genuine remorse. I have seen real change. What I'm seeing now is neither of those things. Preston opens his mouth to speak. Don't, Judge Caprio says. Don't say anything else. Every word out of your mouth has made this worse. You have shown me exactly who you are. A young man who believes rules are for other people. Who thinks money and connections mean more than decency. Who treats other human beings as inconveniences. The judge picks up a document. You pled not guilty to the charges. But the evidence is overwhelming. Body shop records. Text messages. Social media posts. Officer testimony. You hit Mrs. Rodriguez's vehicle while driving recklessly and under the influence. You fled the scene. You failed to render aid. You attempted to cover it up. And you tried to use your father's influence to make it disappear. Preston's lawyer stands. Your Honor, we'd like to request. Sit. Down. Judge Caprio's voice cuts through the room. The lawyer sits. I'm ready to deliver my ruling, Judge Caprio says. The courtroom leans forward. Every person. Even the people standing in the back strain to hear. Preston's face is pale now. The confidence is gone. He's realizing something. He might not walk out of here. Preston Whitmore III, Judge Caprio says, I find you guilty on all charges. Reckless driving, leaving the scene of an accident causing injury, failure to render aid, driving under the influence, attempting to obstruct justice. Preston's knees actually buckle a little. His lawyer grabs his arm to steady him. The sentencing for these crimes is as follows. Judge Caprio picks up his pen. He writes as he talks, making it official. First, financial penalties. You will pay a fine of $25,000 to the state. You will also pay full restitution to Mrs. Rodriguez for all medical expenses, lost wages, and pain and suffering. The court calculates this amount to be $82,500. That's $107,500 total. Payment is due within 30 days. Preston's mouth drops open. What? He says. That's insane. Would you like to add contempt of court to your charges? Judge Caprio asks calmly. Preston shuts his mouth, but his face is bright red. His hands shake. Second, the judge continues. Your driver's license is suspended for 1 year. Not 30 days. Not 90 days. 1 full year. You will not drive. You will not get behind the wheel of any vehicle. If you are caught driving, you will go to jail. Do you understand? Preston nods. He doesn't trust himself to speak. Third, community service. You will complete 300 hours of community service. Preston's lawyer stands again. Your Honor, that's excessive for... It's not excessive, Judge Caprio interrupts. It's appropriate. And here's where Mr. Whitmore will complete those hours. He looks directly at Preston. Rhode Island Hospital. The emergency room. You will work as a volunteer aide. You will clean rooms. You will transport patients. You will empty bedpans. You will mop blood off floors. You will do whatever the nurses tell you to do, including Mrs. Rodriguez. Gasps fill the courtroom. Elena's eyes go wide. Every Saturday and Sunday for the next 8 months, Judge Caprio continues. 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. No exceptions. No cancellations. No calling in sick unless you're in the hospital yourself. You will wear a bright yellow vest that says Community Service on the back. You will check in with the volunteer coordinator. You will get a signature from your supervisor every single day. That supervisor will be Elena Rodriguez. Preston's face goes from red to white. You can't do that, he says. You can't make me. I absolutely can. And I am. Judge Caprio's voice is iron. You showed no concern for Mrs. Rodriguez when you hit her. You didn't care about her pain, her fear, her life. Now you're going to see that life up close. You're going to see what she does every day. The people she helps, the lives she saves, and you're going to do it under her supervision. This is humiliating, Preston says. Good. Maybe humility will teach you something that privilege hasn't. The judge isn't done. Fourth, you will write a letter of apology to Mrs. Rodriguez. Handwritten, not typed, not dictated to your lawyer. 3,000 words minimum. You will detail exactly what you did wrong, why it was wrong, how it affected her, what you've learned. This letter will be submitted to the court. I will read it. If I don't believe it's genuine, you'll write another one. Preston's hands are in fists. He's breathing hard, like he's trying not to explode. Fifth, you will create and deliver a public service announcement about the dangers of reckless driving, about hit-and-run accidents, about taking responsibility. This will be a video, 5 minutes long. The court will review it. If it meets our standards, it will be shown at every high school in Rhode Island. And it will be posted on the court's social media. Your face, your voice, your mistake, for everyone to see. Preston's eyes are wide now. No, he says. No way. You can't make me do that. That'll ruin my reputation. Judge Caprio leans forward. Your reputation. You posted about hitting her car on Instagram. You texted your friends laughing about it. You ruined your own reputation. This is you trying to rebuild it. My father won't allow this, Preston says. His voice is desperate now. He'll file an appeal. Your father is not here, Judge Caprio says. You are. This is your consequence. Not his. Yours. The judge looks down at his notes. Sixth, probation. You will be on supervised probation for 2 years. You will meet with a probation officer monthly. You will submit to random drug and alcohol testing. If you fail a test, you go to jail. If you miss a meeting, you go to jail. If you violate any term of your probation, you go to jail. Are we clear? Preston doesn't answer. He just stares. I asked you a question, Judge Caprio says. Yes, Preston whispers. We're clear. I didn't hear you. Yes. Preston shouts. Yes, we're clear. The bailiff moves closer. A warning. Judge Caprio isn't finished. Finally, there's the matter of your behavior in this courtroom. You were disrespectful, dismissive, arrogant. You threatened my job. You mocked this process. You showed contempt for this court. That's a separate charge. I find you guilty of criminal contempt. The sentence is 15 days in county jail. Preston's face goes white. Jail. His voice cracks. You're sending me to jail. Effective immediately. Judge Caprio nods to the bailiff. Bailiff, take Mr. Whitmore into custody. Everything happens fast. The bailiff pulls handcuffs from his belt. Preston backs away. Wait, he says. Wait, please, I'm sorry. I didn't mean. The bailiff grabs Preston's arm. He spins him around. The handcuffs click. Metal on wrist. First one hand, then the other. Preston's expensive watch gleams next to the steel cuffs. Your Honor, please. Preston's voice is shaking. Don't do this. I'll do everything you said. The community service, the letter, all of it. Just don't send me to jail. Please. Judge Caprio's face softens slightly. Just slightly. Mr. Whitmore, you will do all of those things. After you serve your 15 days. Maybe spending time in a cell will give you perspective. Maybe it will help you understand what consequences feel like. Tears fill Preston's eyes. Actual tears. My dad, he says. Someone call my dad. Your father can visit you during visiting hours, Judge Caprio says. Like everyone else's family does. The bailiff starts walking Preston toward a side door. Preston's legs are shaky. He's stumbling. The confident young man who walked in is gone. In his place is someone scared. Someone small. Wait, Preston says. He turns his head toward Elena. Mrs. Rodriguez, I'm so sorry. I really am. I was wrong. I was so wrong. I'm sorry. Elena looks at him. Her face is unreadable. She doesn't say anything. She just watches him get led away. The door closes behind them. The courtroom is silent. No one moves. No one speaks. They're all processing what just happened. Judge Caprio looks at Elena. Mrs. Rodriguez, I hope this brings you some measure of justice. I know it doesn't undo what happened. It doesn't take away your pain. But I hope it shows you that your life matters. Your pain matters. And no amount of money or influence can change that. Elena nods. Tears run down her face. But she's smiling slightly. Thank you, Your Honor, she says. Thank you for seeing me. For listening. For caring. You're welcome. And please know, the restitution money will be paid. The court will enforce it. If he doesn't pay within 30 days, we'll seize assets. You will receive every dollar. Elena covers her mouth with her hand. $82,500. That's more money than she's ever seen. That's her medical bills paid. That's rent caught up. That's money for Maria's school and Carlos's braces. That's security. The gallery starts clapping. One person at first, then another, then everyone, standing, applauding. For the judge. For Elena. For justice. Judge Caprio raises his hand. The clapping stops. I want to say something to everyone here, he says. This case should never have happened. Not because of the accident. Accidents happen. But because of what came after. The lying. The running. The attempts to use power to escape responsibility. That should never happen. He looks around the courtroom. We have laws in this country. Those laws apply equally to everyone. Or they should. When people think they're above the law because of who they are or who they know, the entire system breaks down. Justice becomes meaningless. Today, I wanted to send a message. No one is above the law. Not senators' sons. Not billionaires. Not celebrities. No one. People nod. Some wipe their eyes. Court is adjourned, Judge Caprio says. He bangs his gavel once. People start filing out. They talk in hushed voices. Someone recorded the whole thing, on their phone. It'll be online, within the hour. Within a day, it'll be everywhere. Elena stays seated for a moment. She's still processing. Her co-workers will be so surprised when Preston shows up for his first shift. She doesn't know how she'll feel seeing him there. The man who hurt her. Working under her supervision. It's strange. Uncomfortable. But maybe it's right. Maybe he needs to see her as a person, not just someone whose car he hit, someone whose life he affected. She stands slowly. Her leg still hurts. It might always hurt. Some injuries don't fully heal. But she feels lighter somehow, like a weight has been lifted. She came here expecting nothing. Maybe a fine for him. Maybe a slap on the wrist. She got so much more. She got validation. She got recognition. She got justice. Meanwhile, in the holding cell downstairs, Preston sits on a metal bench. His hands are still cuffed. His Tom Ford suit is wrinkled. His styled hair is messy now. He's crying. Really crying. Ugly crying. Snot and tears and gasping breaths. He pulls himself together long enough to look at the officer. "Can I make a phone call?" he asks. "You get one call," the officer says. Preston nods. His hands shake as he dials. The phone rings. Once. Twice. 3 times. "Hello." His father's voice. "Dad," Preston says. His voice breaks. "Dad, I'm in jail." Silence on the other end. "They arrested me. Judge Caprio. He sentenced me to 15 days. And community service. And fines. And I can't drive for a year. And I have to work at the hospital where that lady works. Dad, you have to fix this. Please. Please fix this." More silence. Then, "I can't fix this, Preston." Preston's world stops. "What? What do you mean you can't fix it? You're a senator. You know people. You can." "I called the police chief," his father says. His voice is tired. "I called the court. I tried to help you. But you know what I learned? You drove drunk. You hit a woman. You left her bleeding in her car. You laughed about it. And you thought I'd make it disappear." "Dad." "I'm done, Preston. I can't protect you from this. And honestly, I don't want to. Maybe this judge is right. Maybe you need to face consequences. For once in your life, face what you've done. So you're just going to leave me here." Preston's voice is small, like a child's. "I'll hire you a good lawyer for the appeal. But I think you should serve your time. All of it. Do the community service. Write the letter. Make the video. Learn something. Be better." His father hangs up. Preston stares at the phone. The dial tone buzzes in his ear. He's alone. Really alone. No one is coming to save him. He hands the phone back to the officer. The officer leads him to a cell. It's small. Gray concrete walls. A thin mattress on a metal frame. A toilet with no seat. The door slams shut. The lock clicks. Preston sits on the mattress. It's hard. Uncomfortable. Nothing like his bed at home. His $1,000 mattress with memory foam. This might as well be cardboard. He puts his head in his hands. How did this happen? This morning he woke up in his king-size bed. He put on his expensive suit. He drove his Porsche to court. He thought this would be a joke. An annoyance. Something his dad would handle. Now he's in jail. In an orange jumpsuit. Eating food from a metal tray. Using a toilet in full view of anyone walking by. Sleeping on a board. For 15 days. And after that, 300 hours of community service. Working in a hospital. Cleaning up messes. Taking orders from nurses. From Elena, the woman he hurt. 8 months of Saturdays and Sundays. 8 months of waking up at 5 a.m. 8 months of wearing a yellow vest that marks him as a criminal. He thinks about his friends seeing him. In the hospital. In that vest. They'll laugh. They'll take pictures. They'll post them online. His reputation is finished. Then he remembers he has to make a video. A public service announcement. Admitting what he did. That video will be everywhere. Every high school in Rhode Island. Social media. His face. His voice. His humiliation. Forever. He curls up on the mattress. The tears come again. He's scared. He's embarrassed. He's angry. But mostly, he's starting to understand. For the first time in his life, he's understanding what it means to have no power. No control. No way out. 10 weeks pass. Preston sits in county jail for 15 days. The first night, he doesn't sleep at all. Other inmates yell through the night. Someone is crying. Someone else is banging on their cell door. The lights never fully turn off. It's always bright. Always loud. Always uncomfortable. He eats food that tastes like cardboard. Watery eggs. Mystery meat. Stale bread. He loses 8 pounds. His expensive haircut grows out. His perfect teeth get a film on them because the toothbrush they give him is terrible. He looks in the metal mirror and doesn't recognize himself. Other inmates ask what he's in for. When he tells them, they laugh. Contempt of court, one guy says. Man, you must have really pissed off the judge. Preston doesn't argue. He keeps his head down. He counts the days. 15 becomes 14. 14 becomes 10. 10 becomes 5. Finally, he's released. He walks out wearing the same suit he wore in. It's been cleaned, but it looks different on him now. Smaller somehow. His mother is waiting outside. Not his father. His mother. She hugs him. She cries. She says she missed him. His father is in the car. He doesn't say much. Just, you have community service starting Saturday. Don't be late. Saturday comes fast. Too fast. Preston wakes up at 5 a.m. His body protests. He's never woken up this early in his life. He puts on jeans and a plain white t-shirt. No jewelry. No watch. Just clothes. He drives to Rhode Island Hospital. Actually, his mother drives him. He can't drive. License suspended. He'll be taking the bus after today. The bus. Preston Whitmore III, on public transportation. He walks into the volunteer office at 5:45 a.m. A woman named Sharon greets him. She's in her 50s. Warm smile. Kind eyes. She hands him the yellow vest. It's bright. Fluorescent. Impossible to miss. On the back, in huge black letters, Community Service. You'll be working under Elena Rodriguez, Sharon says. She's one of our best nurses. Listen to her. Do exactly what she says. Understand? Preston nods. Sharon leads him to the emergency room. It's busy even this early. Ambulances arrive with sirens. People sit in the waiting room holding bloody towels to wounds. A kid cries in his mother's arms. The smell hits Preston immediately. Antiseptic. Blood. Fear. It's overwhelming. Elena sees him. She walks over slowly. Still limping slightly. She looks at the vest. At his face. You're on time, she says. That's good. Follow me. She doesn't smile. She doesn't make small talk. She's professional. Distant. She shows him where cleaning supplies are kept. Mops. Buckets. Bleach. Rubber gloves. She explains the process. Clean the room after each patient. Wipe down every surface. Mop the floor. Empty the trash. Reset the bed. Make it ready for the next person. Any questions? She asks. No, Preston says quietly. Good. Room 7 just opened up. It's yours. Preston walks to room 7. He opens the door. The smell hits him hard. Vomit. Blood. Sweat. The bed sheets are stained. The floor has footprints of blood. The trash can overflows with used gauze and gloves. His stomach turns. He wants to leave. Just walk out. Quit. But he can't. This is his consequence. He puts on the gloves. He starts cleaning. It takes him an hour to clean one room. An hour. Elena checks his work. She points to spots he missed. Again, she says. He does it again. By noon, he's cleaned 4 rooms. His back hurts. His hands are raw from the bleach water. His knees ache from kneeling to scrub floors. He hasn't sat down once. He's exhausted. Elena finds him in the supply closet. Lunch break, she says. 30 minutes. Then you're transporting patients. Preston eats a sandwich from the vending machine. It costs $6. $6 for dry bread and processed turkey. He thinks about the restaurants he used to eat at. $50 steaks. $100 bottles of wine. This sandwich tastes like garbage, but he's so hungry he doesn't care. After lunch, Elena teaches him how to transport patients. Wheel them from the ER to X-ray. From X-ray to their room. From their room to surgery. Be gentle. Don't hit the walls. Talk to them. Comfort them. Many are scared. In pain. Confused. He wheels an elderly man to X-ray. The man is 82. Hip fracture. He moans with every bump. Preston tries to be careful, but the hallways are crowded. Equipment everywhere. He has to maneuver around carts and people and machines. Sorry, Preston says when he hits a bump. I'm sorry. The old man looks at him. You're doing fine, son, he says. Just nervous, that's all. First day. Yeah, Preston admits. You'll get better. Just care about what you're doing. That's the secret. Care. Preston nods. Something about the man's kindness makes his throat tight. At 2 p.m., his shift ends. 8 hours. The longest 8 hours of his life. He's drenched in sweat. His clothes smell like hospital. His hands shake from exhaustion. Elena signs his time sheet. Her signature is neat. Precise. She doesn't look at him. Just signs and hands it back. Same time tomorrow, she says. Then she walks away. Preston goes home. He collapses on his bed. Every muscle hurts. He falls asleep in his clothes. When he wakes up, it's dark outside. His phone shows 20 missed calls. Friends wanting to hang out. Party invitations. He ignores them all. He has to be up at 5 a.m. again. This continues for weeks. Every Saturday. Every Sunday. Wake up at 5. Arrive at 5:45. Work until 2. Clean rooms. Transport patients. Empty bedpans. Mop floors. See things he never wanted to see. Blood. Suffering. Death. A woman comes in seizing. Preston helps wheel her to a room. He watches the doctors work. Watches them try to save her. They do. Barely. She lives. Preston realizes he's crying. He doesn't know why. He doesn't know her. But he's crying. An ambulance brings in a car accident victim. 20 years old. Drunk driver hit him. His leg is mangled. Bone visible through skin. He's screaming. Preston has to clean the room after. There's blood everywhere. On the walls. On the ceiling. He scrubs for 2 hours. He starts to understand. This is what Elena faces every day. This pain. This chaos. This is where she was after he hit her. On a gurney. Scared. Hurting. And he just drove away. He didn't even look back. Week 12. Preston is different. He looks different. Moves different. His expensive clothes are gone. He wears simple jeans and t-shirts. His hair is normal. No gel. No style. Just clean. His face is thinner. More serious. His eyes are different too. They don't hold that arrogant spark anymore. They look tired. Aware. He arrives one Saturday, and Elena is having a hard day. He can see it in her face. She's moving slower. Her limp is worse. She's in pain. Are you okay? Preston asks. She looks at him. Surprised he noticed. Bad night, she says. Worked a double. My leg acts up when I'm on it too long. Preston hesitates. Then, is there anything I can do? Elena studies him. Really looks at him. Room 9 needs restocking. Usually takes me 20 minutes walking back and forth to supply. If you could do it, that would help. I'll do it, Preston says immediately. He spends the next hour restocking room 9. Gloves. Gauze. For bags. Medications. He makes list after list. He organizes everything perfectly. Elena checks his work. She nods. Thank you, she says. It's the first time she's thanked him. Week 16. Preston has completed 160 hours. He has 140 left. He's more than halfway done. But something strange happens. He doesn't want to quit anymore. He actually looks forward to Saturdays. Not because the work is easy. It's not. But because it matters. He helps an old woman to the bathroom. She has no family. No visitors. She's confused. Scared. Preston holds her hand. He tells her she's safe. She smiles at him. Calls him a nice young man. A kid comes in with a broken arm. 7 years old. Terrified. Crying. Preston kneels down. Hey buddy, he says. I broke my arm once too. See? He shows a scar on his elbow. It hurt a lot. But the doctors here are amazing. They'll fix you right up. And you know what? You'll have a cool cast. All your friends will want to sign it. The kid stops crying. He sniffles. Really? Really? Trust me. The kid's mom mouths thank you to Preston. He nods. Week 20. Preston finishes his community service early. He's completed all 300 hours. Sharon, the volunteer coordinator, prints out his completion certificate. She shakes his hand. You did good, she says. Better than good. You showed up on time every day. You worked hard. Elena says you became a real asset. Elena said that. Preston asks. She did. High praise from her. She doesn't give compliments lightly. Preston finds Elena in the break room. She's eating a granola bar. Her lunch. She works 12-hour shifts. She barely has time to eat. I finished my hours, Preston tells her. She nods. I know. Sharon told me. I wanted to say thank you. For supervising me. For teaching me. For not making this harder than it had to be. Elena sets down her granola bar. You're welcome. You did better than I expected. I'll be honest, the first day, I wanted to make your life hell. I wanted you to suffer. But then, I watched you work. I saw you change. That's not easy. Changing. Growing. Most people don't. Preston's eyes water. I wrote you a letter. The one the judge required. I've written it 10 times. It's never good enough. But I wanted to give you the latest version, even if it's not perfect. He hands her an envelope. Thick paper. His handwriting on the front. Her name. Elena takes it. I'll read it, she says. I also wanted to say I'm sorry. I know I've said it before, but I mean it more now. I understand what I took from you. Not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, the peace of mind, the security. I can't give that back, but I'm sorry I took it. Elena's eyes fill with tears. Thank you, she whispers. That means something. It really does. They sit in silence for a moment. Two people brought together by tragedy, changed by consequence, connected by growth. What will you do now? Elena asks. Now that you're done with community service? Preston shrugs. I don't know. I've been thinking about it. I can't drive for 6 more months. I take the bus everywhere. I've met people on the bus. Heard their stories. There's this woman, Gladys. She's 68. She cleans houses for a living. Takes 3 buses to get to work. 3 hours each way. She's been doing it for 20 years. She told me stories about her grandkids. Showed me pictures. She was so proud. He pauses. I've lived 23 years and I've never met anyone like Gladys. Or like you. Or like the patients here. I've been surrounded by people with money. People who think they matter more because their bank accounts are bigger. But they don't. They matter the same. Gladys matters just as much as my father. You matter just as much. That kid with the broken arm matters just as much. I never understood that before. Elena smiles. A real smile. You're going to be okay, Preston. I think you're going to do good things. I hope so, Preston says. I want to. He stands to leave. Elena calls after him. Preston. He turns. Keep volunteering. If you want. Not as punishment. As a choice. We could use you. Preston's face lights up. Really? Really? Talk to Sharon. Tell her I recommended you. Preston nods. I will. Thank you. For everything. 6 months later. Preston returns to court. It's a review hearing. Judge Caprio wants to see his progress. Make sure he completed everything. Preston walks in differently than last time. No expensive suit. He wears khakis and a button-up shirt. Simple. Humble. He makes eye contact with people. He nods respectfully to the bailiff. He sits in the front row and waits. His name is called. He approaches the bench. Judge Caprio looks at him. Studies him. Mr. Whitmore, the judge says. I have your completion documents here. Community service finished. Letter written. Public service announcement recorded and distributed. Probation reports are all positive. No failed drug tests. Perfect attendance at meetings. It seems you fulfilled your obligations. Yes, Your Honor, Preston says. Tell me about your community service. What did you learn? Preston takes a breath. I learned that I was a terrible person, Your Honor. I was selfish. Entitled. Cruel. I didn't see other people as real. They were just obstacles. Inconveniences. I cared more about my car than I cared about Mrs. Rodriguez. That's shameful. That's disgusting. But it's the truth. Judge Caprio nods slowly. And now I see people. Really see them. I volunteered at Rhode Island Hospital for 8 months. I cleaned rooms. I helped patients. I did whatever the nurses needed. Mrs. Rodriguez supervised me. She taught me what real work looks like. What real compassion looks like. She saves lives every day. She does it with kindness. With patience. I've never met anyone stronger. Preston's voice cracks. I took something from her that I can never give back. I took her sense of safety. Her peace. I hurt her. And I ran. I'm going to carry that for the rest of my life. But I'm trying to be better. I'm still volunteering at the hospital. Not because I have to, because I want to, because it matters. Judge Caprio leans back. What about your father? How's your relationship? It's better, Preston says. It was rough at first. He was disappointed in me. I was angry at him for not fixing everything. But we've talked. Really talked. He told me he was wrong too. He enabled me. He protected me from consequences my whole life. He said he should have let me fail earlier. It would have hurt less. Wise man, Judge Caprio says. He is. I'm lucky to have him. Even when I didn't deserve him. Judge Caprio picks up another document. I watched your public service announcement. It was good. Honest. Raw. I've received letters from teachers saying it impacted their students. Made them think twice about speeding, about drinking and driving, about taking responsibility. You should be proud. I'm not proud, Preston says. I'm grateful I could do something good after doing something so terrible. The judge nods. Mrs. Rodriguez is here today. She wanted to be present for this hearing. Preston turns. Elena sits in the third row. She's wearing her scrubs again. Her name tag. She waves slightly. Preston waves back. Mrs. Rodriguez, Judge Caprio says, "Would you like to address the court?" Elena stands. She limps to the front. She's prepared statement. She unfolds a piece of paper. Her hands shake slightly. Your Honor, 6 months ago, I stood here broken. Physically, emotionally, financially. I wanted justice. I got it. You gave me that. But I also got something I didn't expect. I got to watch someone change. I supervised Preston's community service with anger in my heart. I wanted him to suffer, to struggle, to feel what I felt. She pauses, wipes her eyes. But then I saw him work. Really work. Scrubbing floors on his hands and knees. Emptying bedpans. Comforting scared patients. He didn't complain. He didn't cut corners. He showed up every single day. On time. Ready. He became good at it. The patients liked him. My co-workers like him. I started to like him. Preston's head drops. Tears fall onto his shoes. He hurt me, Elena continues. That's a fact. But he's trying to heal that hurt. Not just for me. For himself. For others. He still volunteers at the hospital. Every week. He's helped hundreds of patients. He's become part of our team. I never thought I'd say this, but I forgive him. Not because he deserves it, but because holding on to anger was hurting me more than it was hurting him. So I'm letting it go. She folds the paper. Your Honor, you gave Preston a second chance. He used it. He changed. I've seen it. That's rare. That's special. I hope the court recognizes that. Judge Caprio's eyes are wet. Thank you, Mrs. Rodriguez. Your grace is remarkable. Elena sits down. Preston turns to look at her. Thank you, he mouths. She nods. Judge Caprio clears his throat. Mr. Whitmore, I'm going to close your case today. Your probation is complete. Your obligations fulfilled. You're free to go. Your record will show this conviction. It won't disappear, but you can move forward. Thank you, Your Honor, Preston says. One more thing, the judge adds. I'm going to write you a letter of recommendation. For college. For jobs. For whatever you need. I don't do this often. Almost never. But I believe you've earned it. You didn't just complete a sentence. You transformed. That deserves recognition. Preston's face crumples. I don't know what to say. Say you'll keep going. Keep growing. Keep helping people. The world needs more people who understand what you understand now. That we're all equal. We all matter. We all deserve dignity and respect. I will, Preston promises. I swear I will. Then we're done here. Good luck, Mr. Whitmore. I don't expect to see you in my courtroom again. Preston smiles through tears. You won't, sir. I promise. Court is adjourned. People file out. Preston stands for a moment. Processing. He walks over to Elena. She stands to meet him. Thank you, he says. For everything. For giving me a chance. For teaching me. For forgiving me. Elena hugs him. It surprises them both. But it feels right. You did the work, she says. I just watched. Be good, Preston. Be the person you became in that hospital. I will, he promises. They walk out together. Into the bright sun. Into a future that looks different than either of them expected. Preston's story spreads. The video of Judge Caprio's sentencing goes viral. Millions of views. Thousands of comments. Most people support the judge's decision. Some say it was too harsh. Others say it wasn't harsh enough. But everyone agrees on one thing. Preston changed. Visibly. Genuinely. Completely. Rhode Island Hospital implements a new volunteer program because of him. They partner with the courts. Offenders can complete community service in the ER. Learn empathy. Learn humility. Learn what real work looks like. They call it the Caprio program. Named after the judge who started it all. Preston becomes the program's spokesperson. He speaks at schools. At court proceedings. At community events. He tells his story. The good, the bad, the ugly. He doesn't hide from it. He owns it. Uses it. Turns his worst moment into something helpful. Elena gets promoted. She becomes the volunteer coordinator for the ER. She supervises all the community service workers, teaches them what she taught Preston, gives them chances, watches them grow. Judge Caprio continues his work, case after case, day after day, treating everyone with dignity, rich or poor, famous or unknown, black or white, young or old. In his courtroom, everyone is equal. Everyone matters. Everyone gets justice. And somewhere in Providence, Gladys rides the bus to work. 3 hours each way. She doesn't know her story inspired a senator's son to be better. She's just living her life, working hard, loving her grandkids, being kind to strangers. That's the real lesson. The people we overlook are often the ones who matter most. The nurses, the bus riders, the janitors, the teachers, the people who work quietly, who help without recognition, who show up every day and do what needs doing. Preston learned that the hard way, but he learned it, and now he lives it. Money can buy many things. It can buy cars and clothes and comfort, but it cannot buy character. It cannot buy empathy. It cannot buy respect. Those things must be earned, through actions, through choices, through change. And in Judge Frank Caprio's courtroom, on one winter day, a privileged young man learned that lesson. He learned it through consequences, through humility, through the grace of a woman he hurt. Justice isn't always about punishment. Sometimes it's about transformation. Sometimes it's about taking someone broken and helping them heal. Not just for themselves, but for everyone they'll meet, everyone they'll help, everyone whose life they'll touch. That's what happened here. That's what this case teaches us. We all make mistakes, some worse than others, but we all get to choose what we do next. Do we run? Do we hide? Do we blame others? Or do we face what we've done? Learn from it. Grow because of it. Preston chose growth. Elena chose forgiveness. Judge Caprio chose justice tempered with mercy. And together, they showed us what's possible when consequences meet accountability, when privilege meets reality, when arrogance meets empathy. That's the story. That's the lesson. That's why this courtroom went silent when Senator's son did what he did. And that's why Judge Caprio's decision shocked everyone. Not because it was harsh, but because it was perfect, proportional, powerful, and ultimately effective. Justice was served, not just for Elena, for everyone, for a society that too often lets the wealthy and powerful escape consequences, for every victim who's been dismissed, for every voice that's been silenced. That day in that courtroom, those voices were heard. That day, justice meant something. And that day, one arrogant young man learned the most important lesson of his life. He learned that we're all equal under the law. And more importantly, we're all equal as humans. Every life matters. Every person deserves respect. Every action has consequences. Preston Whitmore III walked into that courtroom thinking he was special. He walked out knowing he was just human, flawed, capable of terrible things, but also capable of change, capable of good, capable of becoming someone he's proud to be. And that, in the end, is what justice is really about. Not just punishing the guilty, but helping everyone become better, learn, grow, heal, move forward, together.